Greetings, folks. Dyan here. And today we have a story. A story of how greed and hunger for power can lead so many lives to ruin. Dyan was the king of a kingdom the name of whom history has forgotten, and he took delight in nothing else as much as he did in war. This constant hunger for battle led him down a dark path. He spoke to what lied beyond the stars, and this brought ruin to his kingdom. In time, the forces that he communicated with sent down a curse upon the mortal realm, putting every subject in his kingdom in danger. It was decided that to safeguard everyone, the curse would have to be sealed away. In order to be kept dormant, the person who would become the vessel for the curse would have to be of pure heart. So an extremely powerful ancient builder was chosen for this task. The warlord used his dark magic to slowly seal the curse into the vessel. This led to the ancient builder slowly losing his humanity. The people watched in horror as the person that they once knew was turned into that thing. As strong as the ancient builder was, he wasn't strong enough to resist the curse. Even though the cosmic curse was restrained, it wouldn't be kept there forever. And so the king started sending out messages to individuals that he knew could help him in the task that was coming. It had to be made sure that the vessel of calamity would never escape, as its escape would mean carnage for the rest of the world. And so in the Forgotten Kingdom, 4 keys were forged. Each one of them was going to be given to a Harbinger who would guard it with their life. These 4 were chosen by King Dyan to be monstrous warriors who would stop anyone trying to harness the power of the curse for themselves. The first of the 4, the Harbinger of Death, spends his time resting in a dark tower far from the Forgotten Kingdom. If you should foolishly try to enter this tower, you will encounter dimly lit chambers with piles of bones and skulls all around you. It is still not known how the king managed to curry this creature's favor and convinced him to act as one of his harbingers. The topmost chamber of the tower is a resting place for a mysterious skull. If one tries to go there and disturb the skull, they will awaken the Doom Harbor Lich, an ancient and horrible undead entity. Somehow, if you should be powerful enough and clever enough to defeat this creature, you would receive the Key of Death, the first of the 4 keys. When King Dyan waged war all across the land, his most loyal and most trusted companions were the Terrible 10. The Terrible 10 were an order of knights who had trained themselves to perform a unique ability upon the battlefield. On command, they could unify with perfect synchronization and turn into a giant warrior. Simply by holding on to each other's arms and legs, they became one of the most terrifying forces that the king possessed. During the wars of the Forgotten Kingdom, they were almost invincible. For their loyalty, they had earned the king's trust, and when time of crisis came, he gave them the Key of Conquest, making them the Harbingers of Conquest. If you somehow manage to best the Terrible 10 in combat, that won't be the end of it. That simply would defeat their unified form. After sustaining enough damage, the Terrible 10 are wise enough to split into their individual parts, and then you would have to deal with them one part at a time, a literal arm and a foot coming your way. But the thing that you would have to be most afraid of is the head. The head, also known as the Puny Juggernaut, was the leader of this order of knights, and he poses a threat even in his tiny form. So if you ever encounter this ancient warrior, always remember, you are going to have to win 2 fights. Once defeated, the Terrible 10 would give up the Key of Conquest, the second of the 4 keys. It is said that the Terrible 10 now slumbers somewhere in the forest, surrounded by a shrine built by the soldiers of the Forgotten Kingdom a long time ago. The Plaguebringer was once a man, the greatest alchemist in the world. He was entrusted with the Key of Pestilence, and this ruined his life. He realized the true purpose of the keys, and it drove him to madness. The keys have an evil power to them. They strip you of your humanity over time, and eventually it turned him into the Harbinger of Pestilence. The gods of the Forgotten Kingdom witnessed all of this happening. They were disgusted by the Harbingers, and created guardians of their own who would fight the Harbingers if necessary to protect the gods. Residing in temples far above the surface of the earth, the Arrow Guardians are powerful creatures that use magic to control weather. They are ordained by the divine. Should you encounter one of these things, you would be in great danger. Their weather control allows them to make it rain at any point in time. They can strike you with lightning and have the ability to fly. The ancients also speak of a much more archaic and mysterious creature called the Radiance Guardian. It is said that this individual was even more powerful than its overworld counterpart. It was made specifically to guard the Pantheon and the Abyss, an even more terrible creature made to fight the Harbingers. And all that one can do is pray to the gods that created it that they do not encounter this creature. The final Harbinger, the Harbinger of War, is King Dyrolian himself, as he holds the keys in his hand, thinking about what he has done. Cursed by mortality, perpetually stewing in his own wrath.